Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll tell you about the next zoning battle over a big box store in Pasadena and the county's new health officer, making headlines around the county. Well, the Maryland Public Service Commission got an earful from residents this week about BG&E's performance during Hurricane Irene. The commission regulates electricity companies and also sets rates charged by utilities. BGE officials say that the hurricane cost it more than $81 million in manpower and equipment to repair the storm damage, and that the cost could be passed on to customers. The hurricane left 756,000 people without power, some for as long as a week. More than half of the customers in Anne Arundel County had no power. The Baltimore Sun reported that about 40 people showed up to testify at BG&E's performance during Irene. Many urged the commission to deny any rate increase requests and demanded that the utility improve its communications with customers as well as free trimming. County Executive Leopold said of the hearing, "It is important for customers to make their views known and for the state to hold our electricity utilities accountable for their performance. BG&E has not made a formal request to increase rates yet. The Public Service Commission will continue to take public comment before getting a full report from the utility on its performance." BGE employees said that they did their best to restore power and that crews worked 16 hours for up to 8 straight days to repair the damage. You've not missed your chance to weigh in on this issue. Another public hearing is set for Tuesday, October 11th in Baltimore. The hearing will be held at 7 p.m. at Woolman Hall in Baltimore, located at 101 North Gay Street. For more information, you can call 410-767-8000. You can submit your comments in writing. Make sure you reference case number 9279, public comment, and send your submission to David J. Collins, Executive Secretary, Maryland Public Service Commission, William Donald Schaffer Tower at 6 St. Paul Street, 16th floor, Baltimore, Maryland, 21202. You must comment by October 17th.
Well, this summer all the zoning talk was about keeping South County rural. This fall, the battle heads up north to Pasadena. The 20-acre site of the Brumwell Flea Market is now in the crosshairs. The Brumwell family wants the county to upzone the property to allow a big box store like a Target, Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot on the site. The community remains divided over the proposal. Bonnie Brumwell-Hoyas told the Maryland Gazette that Pasadena needs a major retailer because shoppers have to take their money to Glen Burnie currently. If the zoning request is denied, Hoyas said they will build condos and restaurants on the property, which is adjacent to the Lakeshore Plaza at Mountain Road and Magathy Bridge Road. The county's Department of Planning and Zoning has recommended against the change. This is the third time that the Brumwells have sought such a change. The County Council will hold several public hearings on the latest zoning proposals in the next 2 months, including October 3rd, the 17th, and November 7th and the 21st. Other proposals in the plan include a plan to build a Royal Farms with a gas station at a vacant bowling alley on Fort Smallwood Road in Riviera Beach, and a plan to upzone an 80-acre property on Eldington Road in Millersville. For more information on the rezoning process, call 410-222-1401. You can also look at the full list of all the applicants at www.aacounty.org.
Residents of West County can have their voices heard on a proposed rubble landfill near Crofton. The Maryland Department of the Environment has extended the public comment period once again. Anyone who wants to weigh in on the proposal can do so through November 9th. That extends the comment period to the maximum allowed by the law. This is the second extension of the public comment period. The first time it was extended due to Hurricane Irene, and this time due to requests from the public. Tolson and Associates is proposing to open a 72-acre rubble landfill on the site of an old sand and gravel mine at Cunningham Excavating on Capitol Raceway Road off of Route 3 South. Many neighbors have raised concerns about the landfill, and some community associations have voted to oppose the facility. For more information about the project and how to comment, call 410-537-3315.
In this week's Community Spotlight, Mark Chang is pounding the pavement yet again. His first stop was Baltimore Washington Medical Center in Glen Burnie to tour the hospital's new surgical suite. Take it away, Dr. Chang.
Thanks. I'm over here at the Baltimore Washington Medical Center's new operating facility, and with me today, I have the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Lawrence Lindner, and also Director of Perioptic Services, Mrs. Joyce Myers. First of all, I'd like to start off with you, Dr. Lindner. Thanks for coming on the show. I know you're very busy.
Thank you for visiting us.
Great. And why did this project take place, the expansion?
We've been working on the expansion for 18 months. Multiple reasons. One, our ORs were constantly full. As our community grows, we needed more rooms. But more importantly, it's allowed us to provide more complex surgeries to our patients in our community.
And why did the Baltimore Washington Medical Center decide to expand its OR?
As technology changes, if you think from a patient's point of view, if you think about your surgical incisions, they keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now we have Da Vinci robots and other types of surgery. This allows all of the folks in the operating suite who are working on you the same access to the knowledge as the surgeon. So now it's not just one person looking through a pair of binoculars, but everyone, when you go and tour the OR, there are monitors everywhere, including in other parts of the hospital. So if a pathologist is looking at a slide of a biopsy, the surgeon and the pathologist can look at the same slide at the same time together, so it provides much safer surgeries for people.
Great. And how long did this project start here?
We've been working on it for 18 months.
Okay, great. You talked about a lot of great benefits and everything. What specific benefits can patients expect from coming over to Baltimore Washington Medical Center?
The most important ones are they're going to have safer, quicker surgeries.
Okay, great. And that means quicker recovery times?
Oftentimes, yes.
Okay, great. All right, now jumping over to you. How are you doing?
Great, Mark. How are you?
Great. I know you're also very busy too as Director of Perioptic Services here. Let me ask you, how many rooms are in this facility?
Well, previous to the renovations, we had 14 surgical suites, and with the addition of the 3 new suites, it's a total of 17.
Great. And how does this OR, by the way, it's a very, very nice OR, differ from the other ORs out there?
Well, it really is all about the size of the rooms and the new technology. Our new rooms have multiple video screens all around the surgical field, so the surgeon and the entire surgical team can see the images as they are projected during the procedure. In addition, any type of radiographic study, CAT scans, MRIs, can also be imported and flashed up on the screen, so all that information is available to the surgeon while he's operating.
Great. And what type of cases are done here?
Well, in OR 16, which is one of our new rooms, we're really focusing on complex spine surgeries. We have a new spinal navigation system, and that offers continuous 3D images of the surgical site to the surgeon as he's performing these complex procedures and putting hardware in the patients.
Great. Just walking around here, it's very, very spacious. How big is this facility?
The renovated space is a total of 27,000 feet, and that includes the pre and post area, which is a 30-bay admission and discharge unit, and also central services, which is where we prepare all of our instrumentation pre-procedure for the patients.
Great. And were there any other areas that were renovated?
Well, I also wanted to mention that our other 2 ORs, 17 and 18, really focus on minimally invasive procedures. As Dr. Linder said, incisions are becoming smaller, and we're able to put video scopes into the incision. And in those rooms, we're doing colon procedures, gallbladder procedures, kidney procedures, lung procedures, and also a variety of other abdominal procedures.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Myers, for all that technical information. If they want more information about this facility or the rest of the hospital, what number can they contact?
They can call 410-787-4000 or use our website, www.mybwmc.org.
Great. Thank you very much, Mrs. Myers, and thank you very much, Dr. Linder, for both coming on the show and talking about this great facility and also allowing the folks out here, myself and others, come and tour this and understand that you have a big ceremony today, the big ribbon cutting's going on today. So good luck with that, and good luck with the entire team over here and all the work that you all do for our community up here. Thank you very much. Well, this is a great facility. It's definitely going to be in good hands if you ever have to come out here. Come visit these great folks. Got a lot of great bedside manners out here too. So back to you in the studio.
Well done, Mark. Hopefully we don't have to pay any business visits to the surgical suite anytime soon, but it does look like they've created a state-of-the-art facility. Folks, stay tuned later in the show as Mark is now making his way to the North Anne Arundel Chamber of Commerce to cover a special ceremony held for our police, firefighters, and paramedics.
Well, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around the county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's cold and flu season, and the last thing you want is to be sick or make others sick. So here's what you do to stop germs and stay healthy. Cover your coughs. Wash your hands after sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose. Wash with warm water and soap for 20 seconds, and then dry. When you can't wash your hands, use an alcohol-based sanitizer. If you do get sick, stay home. Stop germs, stay healthy.
Welcome back. On September 27, 2011, at approximately 9 p.m., officers from the Eastern District responded to the Foxwell Bend Road in Glen Burnie for a report of a robbery. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy with more details. Justin.
Thanks, Erik. When officers arrived on scene, they spoke with a 24-year-old male victim who indicated that he was walking on the B&A trail when he encountered 4 male subjects. Now, one suspect asked for a cigarette, while another suspect grabbed the victim and threw him to the ground. At that time, the suspects went through the victim's pockets and removed an undisclosed amount of money. It's before they fled the area on foot. Several officers, along with the K-9 unit, they searched the area but were unable to locate those suspects at this time. Suspects are being described as 4 black males, all in their 20s. 2 of them were wearing white T-shirts, with one wearing blue jeans, the other wearing camouflage shorts. The remaining 2 suspects were wearing dark shirts with graffiti designs. They were also wearing dark pants. We're going to move on now to our second incident that took place on September 23rd at 8:44 p.m. That's when officers from the Western District responded to residents in the 2000 block of Brigadier Boulevard in Odenton for a report of a burglary. When officers arrived on scene, they spoke with a male resident who indicated that he located his neighbor in the basement of the home without permission. The suspect in this case quickly exited the residence and requested that the homeowner not contact the police department. The suspect was later located by officers at his home on Brigadier Boulevard and placed under arrest for the burglary. Now, further investigation revealed that the suspect actually went into his neighbor's residence to remove clothing belonging to a female from that same residence. Furthermore, the male resident indicated that he had observed the suspect peering into a window of the residence recently, and it was also learned by detectives that the suspect had entered the residence without permission on other occasions. The suspect was charged with 1st, 3rd, and 4th degree burglary, also attempted theft under $100, peeping Tom, and a charge known as private place prurient intent. The suspect is Donnie Lee Thurston, age 58, of 2006 Brigadier Boulevard in Odenton, Maryland. Now, folks, as always, if you have any information on the crimes or suspects we mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers. You can call the hotline 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Your second option, text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637 or visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Folks, remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward as well of up to $2,000. Back to you, Erik.
Thanks, Justin. Police advise that it always helps to bring a friend or family member with you when you're on the trail, especially at night.
Each year, the Department of Aging and Disabilities provides free tax help for people one-on-one. Mary Felter sat down to talk about the effort to recruit volunteer number crunchers. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today, my guest is Kim Yates, who's director of the RSVP program for the Department of Aging, and I'm happy to have her here to talk about recruiting of volunteers. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mary.
I know that you are busy recruiting volunteers for your VITA program, and that's run through RSVP, so I thought perhaps you could first tell us what RSVP is, what it means, and then we'll talk about VITA.
Okay. RSVP is the acronym for the Retired Senior Volunteer Program in Anne Arundel County. VITA is under that, and that is a Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which what we do is we recruit volunteers to prepare taxes in the senior centers during tax season for people that are seniors over 55, but also low-income disabled people. And there's an income that has to be matched. I mean, you can't just, anybody can't walk in. It has to be low income or a senior.
Is there a specific level? I mean, is it like your income needs to be $40,000 or less, or what is the income level? Do you know?
Last year it was $49,000. It will be changed this year. It won't be the same, and we don't know that yet because we're just now starting to recruit and starting to get all the specifics from the IRS. So probably around December we'll know exactly. Before we print the brochures and such, we'll know exactly. About the same level, probably not much higher or lower.
What kind of volunteers are you looking for? Do you need someone who has experience as an accountant or works in finance, or can anyone become a volunteer and do this work?
Well, most of our volunteers do not have any background in tax preparation. Some do come from H&R Block, some are retired CPAs. It depends, but that's not necessary because the IRS trains each volunteer that we have. So their training is done by the IRS, and it's very simple taxes. There's no itemization, there's no different schedules, no farming, no businesses, nothing like that. They're just basic, simple tax.
And does that also include the Maryland state tax form as well? They help them with that?
Yes, and everything, they try to make it all e-filed, which is much easier actually for the client and for the volunteer that's preparing the taxes.
So that means that you're going to file it online for them?
Yes.
That's the way things seem to be going nowadays, and it'll be easier, I think, in the long run for everyone to have it done that way.
Also, it's quicker.
Yeah, it is quicker, and if you have a refund coming, I understand you can get it sooner.
Yes.
The volunteers are needed now so that you can plan your training, is that it?
Right. I would like to start recruiting now because in January, we start setting up the senior centers where we do the taxes. We start the training for the volunteers, and we'd like to get them on board and get them up to speed so that they feel comfortable preparing the taxes before we actually start February 1st.
And so if I were a volunteer, can I ask to be placed at a certain senior center because it's closer to my home? Or?
Oh, of course. You can choose which senior center you want to go to. And, you can work as many hours a week as you want or as few as you want. It's totally up to you.
What kind of benefits do people get for working for RSVP or volunteering with RSVP?
Well, we offer supplemental automobile, accident, and liability insurance, as well as we have an annual recognition luncheon every year in May, either at LaFontaine Blue or Michael's, and it's a big to-do, and we go all out to show our appreciation for the volunteering that occurs during the year for any RSVP volunteer.
Mentioning other RSVP programs, I know you have a telephone reassurance program and you also have a friendly visitors program. What is telephone reassurance?
That's a program where we have volunteers that daily, every day of the year, call frail or homebound seniors and disabled individuals in our county to make sure that they're okay. It's called a well check call. And what we do is we call, make sure they're okay. We call between 7:30 and 10 in the morning. And if we don't reach them, we have contacts that we call, could be a family member, a neighbor, or a friend. We will call them. If we cannot get in contact, we will call the police just to go over and check and make sure that they're okay. We also will call the hospitals to make sure they weren't admitted in the night. And we just make sure that they're accounted for each and every day.
So if I were someone who had a family member I wanted to have checked on every day, this would be a program that I could involve myself in.
Absolutely. It's completely free. And it's a very, very good program. It's very beneficial, especially in times of like during the hurricane or during snowstorms, that type of thing, because some of these people are on oxygen or they're diabetic or they're waiting for a nurse to come. So when we contact them, we can find out exactly what their needs are at that time and address them immediately.
That's very, very helpful. The other program that I mentioned was a Friendly Visitor, which I understand is a program where a volunteer can visit in the home with someone for an hour a week or something like that. Is that exactly how it works?
Correct. We recruit volunteers for that. We also are looking for clients for that, people that want to be visited. The volunteers for that program are trained. They have an orientation and they're trained. And what they do is they go out, we match somebody that has their similar interests and background, education, maybe even in their same area. So the volunteer does not have to go far to visit somebody. And they go out for 1 hour each week. They can play cards with them. They can put together a puzzle, just chit chat. They can go to lunch. And through this, they form like a friendship almost, because I have a lot of volunteers that are really committed to their clients and become close, very close to their clients. And it kind of runs in line with telephone reassurance because it's also a program where it's a well check thing. It's to make sure, that they're okay if they don't have family around. And it's also to keep them stimulated and socialized.
It sounds like you've got some good programs under RSVP. If someone wants to volunteer or wants more information, what do they do?
They can contact me at 410-222-6713 or 222-6717.
And can they find it on our webpage as well?
Yes, we have a web page, and they can go to aacounty.org.
And click on the aging. Yes, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your coming on the program today and letting people know that we have openings for volunteers, specifically for the VITA program, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. It really is a needed program. I appreciate very much your coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities for Week in Review. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. I'm glad we still have 6 months until tax time.
And Mark Chang has made it. He checks in with us from the North Anne Arundel Chamber of Commerce, who recently gave special thanks to our police, firefighters, and paramedics. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks. I'm out here over at the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce office right in downtown Glen Burnie on this beautiful September day. And today with me I have Mrs. Fran Schmidt, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber. And you all have an upcoming 26th Annual Community Safety Awards Dinner coming up, and wanted to get some more information from you to tell the folks out in the audience.
Okay, I'm happy to talk about it. This is the 26th year. We've recognized local public safety officials who go above and beyond the call of duty every day in their everyday job. These are the people that you don't see on the evening news. You don't see a lot of reports about them, but they're the people that are protecting you every single day. They are the ones who ensure your safety, your business, and your lives and your family at home.
Absolutely. And what type of agencies or personnel are going to be recognized here?
Well, we have 5 agencies from the police department, including this year the K-9 department. So we're very pleased. We hope to have one of our little big K-9 friends with us that evening. But the police department, the 911 center, the animal control, the bike patrol, the fire department, the paramedics, the volunteer fire department, the health department, the Coast Guard who patrols our waters. Those are just to name a few of the agencies that are going to be represented.
Great, thank you very much. And for folks who want more information about where's it going to be, how much, when?
Okay, as we said, it's going to be on October the 11th. It's going to be at Michael's 8th Avenue. It's going to start at 5:30 in the evening. There will be a sit-down dinner and the awards ceremony. Some time for networking and getting to walk around and congratulate everyone. The tickets are $30 a person, and you can contact the chamber office.
Okay, great. And what's that telephone number, email address, website address?
Okay, the telephone number is 410-766-8282, or you can email Fran, which would be me, fran@naacc.com.
Great, Fran, and thank you for your leadership in the Chamber of Commerce, and this is just one of the many events you do for the community, so we appreciate this event and all the other events you're going to be doing. And so folks, come on out here and support the folks who help protect you and your community out there. And again, it's going to be on Tuesday, October 11th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Michael's 8th Avenue. And as Fran said, you can give the Chamber office a call and get more information at 410-766-8282. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. We certainly appreciate all the efforts of our first responders.
This week, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,455 calls for service. This included more than 1,134 medical calls and 80 fire calls. One person was injured and another killed when they were struck by a car in 2 different incidents. And joining us by phone this week with more is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred around 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, September 24th, 2011. At that time, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported pedestrian struck in the 7700 block of Old Stage Road in the Glen Burnie area of the county. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported that a male, estimated to be in his early to mid-30s, suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries as a result of the incident. He was transported via ground ambulance to the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center in Baltimore, Priority 2. In a second incident, a second person was struck by a vehicle around 3:30 a.m. on Sunday, September 25th, 2011. This incident occurred in the area of Furnace Branch Road East and Meadow Drive South in the Marley area of the county. The first units to arrive on the scene of this incident reported that a 45-year-old male pedestrian was unconscious and unresponsive. A closer assessment of the patient by firefighters and paramedics on the scene revealed that the male patient suffered fatal injuries as a result of the incident and was pronounced dead at the scene. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. Furnace Branch Road was closed for a few hours after the pedestrian was struck near Meadow Drive while an investigation was conducted.
In this week's Recreation and Park Spotlight, Carolyn Ryan gives us a glimpse into one of the many secret treasures at Kinder Farm Park. Carolyn.
Thanks, Erik. Well, one of the few secrets here in Anne Arundel County is our sawmill. I bet you didn't know that we have a sawmill in Anne Arundel County. We actually are at Kinder Park today, and I'm here with Paul Downey, one of the operators of the sawmill. Thanks for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about this sawmill.
Well, the sawmill was put in about 7-8 years ago, and then me and most of us guys work on another sawmill in Crownsville. We volunteered to come over here and operate this one.
Okay. Now, what types of wood do you use, and what do you do with the wood?
We rip pine, red oak, white oak, black oak, chestnut oak, cherry, walnut, and there's some walnut logs laying right here on the ground. And we use it in the park. And last summer, spent all summer building cabinets for the new visitor center, and it was built out of all red oak that was milled about 4 years ago, and it's been drying all that time because it's got to be dry before we can use it. And really enjoyed doing it. Had quite a few helps, and but I got to put up with a lot off of them every day.
Now, speaking of your helpers, we got a chance to meet everybody that is on the crew.
My name is Bruce Mitchell. I've been here, 6 months? I'm a setter on the mill, and I just enjoy doing it.
I'm Fred Oakes. I've been here about 3 months, maybe. They recruited me from over at the Sprouts Garden, and I'm one of the off-bearers.
My name is Pete Peterson. I'm a off-bearer, and we've been at this 5 or 6 years on this mill.
I'm Tom Ladelma, along with Pete Peterson. We helped set this mill up, building the building, and he's saying 6, I'm saying about 8 years, and I'm the sawyer. I'm the one that I ruin the logs. I make lumber out of the logs.
I'm Julie Wilson. I'm Tom's sister. He recruited me last year after I retired. He thought I was bored. So I'm an off-bearer, and I really enjoy it.
George Daniels, and I'm an off-bearer, and I've been helping here now almost 5 years.
I'm Al Davis, and been here about 2 years, and I try and keep it running.
So it sounds like everybody really enjoys working on the sawmill. Now, most of you were telling me, most of you are retired?
Yeah, I think all of us are retired except 2, and I'm the oldest one out of the crew in age. I think that's the reason why they feel me all the time.
Now, it's an all-volunteer group, correct?
It's all volunteers, and we're always looking for other volunteers to help.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Now, the Harvest Festival is coming up on October 8th.
October the 8th.
And you guys will be out here that day?
Yeah, we'll be sawing probably walnut and red oak, then all day on the 8th. Then we'll be cutting shingles with our shingle cutter.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about the shingle cutter.
Well, the shingle cutter, from what I understand, the guy that owns it found it in Pennsylvania, sitting in a field, and he purchased it off of him, brought it here and restored it.
And it is how old?
Well, it's a little over 110 years old.
Great. And restored it and still usable. So you guys will be out here cutting shingles.
We'll cut shingles,
cutting
rip
boards.
Lumber. Yeah.
Wonderful.
We'll do that all day on the 8th.
Great.
So come and see it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For more information on the sawmill and on the Harvest Festival coming up here at Kinder Farm Park, you can visit our website, www.aacounty.org/recparks. Thanks. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Finally, more good news this month on the hiring front. County Executive Leopold announced the appointment of Dr. Angela Wakwea as our new county health officer. Under state and county authority, more than 1 out of every 3 county residents is directly served by the Department of Health program each year. The department provides more than 1.4 million personal and environmental health services to county residents and business annually. Dr. Wakwe earned her medical degree from Makerere University Medical School in Kampala, Uganda, and a master's degree in economics from the London School of Economics and Political Science at the University of London. Most recently, she served as Deputy Director of Infectious Disease and Environmental Health Administration of the Maryland Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Dr. Wakwe's appointment is effective October 12th. County Executive Leopold said of the appointment, Dr. Wakwe will be a tremendous asset to us in promoting education about communicable diseases and responding to health emergencies. I want to thank Doug Hart, who returned from retirement to serve as acting health officer and has helped our health department continue to move forward during the transition.
You know, that's well said about Dr. Wakwe is very qualified. I had the chance to sit down with and talk to her about 2 weeks ago, and she's going to be a great addition to the team over there. But they're going to miss Doug Hart. This is a guy that, special thanks. I mean, I know County Executive Leopold thanked him, but I also want to thank Doug Hart as well. He just stepped in there, and when we had a tough time there when our health officer left for military service, and then our health officer decided not to return. Doug Hart stepped in there and really carried the ball for us. So it was nice to have him there. But I tell you, you know, you said something in your report about the Department of Health, that we serve 1 in every 3 county residents. A lot of people think of the Department of Health and they think of medical issues. They think of flu shots and flu vaccinations. But do you know some of the other things our Department of Health does? I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Wow. I mean, just with respect to they come in, they help out during activations. They do have a lot of flu shots. You tell me, Erik.
They do. They've got a lot of flu shots. But we're talking about environmental health. I mean,
That's
these
true.
folks go out there, they regulate our solid waste landfills, they make sure that the water, that the well water that folks are drinking out there in some parts of the county, that we're testing this, they test our beaches for the water, you know, the water of the community beaches, and they're also involved with restaurant inspections. These folks go out and inspect our restaurants every year so to make sure that the food we're eating is healthy and it's safe. Wells and septics in the county.
Yeah,
They regulate
and there are a
wells
lot
and
of them
septics.
in this county.
There sure are, about 30,000. So it's really, it's a department that a lot of folks, they think of health and they just think of the medical side. But there's really a lot more that goes into the Department of Health. So glad I gave you a lesson
Yes,
today,
thank
Karla.
you, Erik.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please join us next time as we will highlight more news for you from around your county. We'll see you next time.